Remove the rack from the oven and use it to divide the ground meat into equal long portions. Now all that's left is to cook the sausages in any convenient way. It may seem convenient to open a juice pack, especially without added sugar, and enjoy it by drinking a couple of glasses. But it's not that simple. There are always natural sugars in any juice. You can easily see this by conducting a small experiment. Let's try boiling a liter of juice, and in the pan there will be a foamy sludge like this. It smells like burnt sugar, and after cooling it becomes just that. So perhaps it's better to enjoy and benefit from eating a couple of fresh apples. You can slice eggs for country salad or sorrel soup using this kind of grater. Quickly, easily, and none of the yolk ever smears on the cutting board. To easily remove the label from a jar, pour boiling water into it. Leave it for 5–10 minutes. The label will come off on its own. It is quite difficult to extinguish a smoking mosquito coil without pouring water onto it, or breaking off a piece. You can't blow it out, but if you attach a regular metal paper clip to the coil, when you reach this clip, the coil will extinguish itself. You shouldn't throw away a broken mosquito coil either. You can also use it. There is a special recess on the coil holder. Insert these pieces into it, light them, and everything works perfectly. Dry the zest removed from a lemon by any convenient method. When the zest becomes dry and crispy, grind it into a powder. This will become a handy tool when you need the taste and aroma of lemon, but don't have one at hand. If green onions have grown too large and the stalks are tough, you can still use them in a wonderful way. Slightly chop the green onion stalks. Transfer them to a blender. Add any vegetable oil and blend until smooth. Put the resultant mixture to a small saucepan and place it on the lowest heat. Gradually heat the mixture. When it starts to boil, heat it for another 3–4 minutes and strain it through a very fine sieve. This results in a bright emerald oil with a wonderful onion aroma. This oil can be used to dress any vegetable salads. You can cook any meat dishes or fry eggs with it. I will share a recipe for mayonnaise made from boiled eggs for those who are afraid to make it with raw eggs. Add vegetable oil, freshly squeezed lemon juice, salt, mild mustard, and natural yogurt. Mix everything together using an immersion blender. This mayonnaise will thicken a little more in the fridge. Cleaning an immersion blender and not cutting yourself with a knife is very easy. Pour warm water into a container, immerse the immersion blender, and turn it on for a few seconds. Take natural thick yogurt as a base. Mix it with baking soda, and let it sit for 3–4 minutes. Due to the reaction that occurs, a lot of bubbles appear and the yogurt increases in volume. This means that the bacon will turn out well. Then in several steps, sift whole wheat flour into the yogurt to prevent the flour from scattering around. Using a glass and a sieve, add a little baking powder and salt to the flour. Pour in vegetable oil and knead the soft dough. It is not necessary to knead it for too long, otherwise the dough will be tough and won't rise. Put the dough onto a board and carefully shape it into a ball. Do not add more flour, the dough should remain slightly sticky to the touch. Cover it with a glass bowl on top and let it rest for 10–15 minutes. In a pot, bring water to a boil, sweeten it and add baking soda. The dough is ready. Let's shape bagels out of it. These are round buns with a hole in the middle. An irregular funnel will help us with this. Take a small piece of dough and make circular motions with the funnel on the board. It turns out like this ball of dough. Flip the funnel and use its pointed part to make a hole in the middle. The bagel base is ready. Now one by one, lower all the dough pieces into the boiling prepared water. As soon as the dough floats up, count 3–4 seconds. Immediately remove it, shake off excess water, and transfer it to a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. You can sprinkle the bagels with any seeds and a little coarse salt on top. Bake the bagels in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius. Pre-boiling the dough allows the finished buns to become golden and crispy. You can use the bagels for different sandwiches, with both sweet and salty fillings. In thin metal pans, baking is not always successful. To make the pie look beautiful, well-baked, and completely even on top, use the following trick. Soak paper towel thoroughly with water and fold them into strips that match the height of the pan. Place them on a foil-lined baking sheet. Wrap them so that the foil strip is also of the appropriate width. Now wrap the pan from the outside with this preparation and secure it. Inside, place the dough and bake the pie. Fold a ribbon or string in half. Thread it through the bag. And first pull one of the ends through the loop. Tighten it. Thread the second end through the new loop and tighten it again. This results in a tight bag with a small bow. But if you pull on both ends, everything unties instantly. Wrap a head of cauliflower in a plastic wrap. Give it a couple of hits on the table and the head will break into florets. Drying any herbs quickly is very easy. For example, spread parsley leaves in an air fryer basket. And in just 8–10 minutes at a temperature of 150 degrees, the herbs will be completely dry. Squeeze the juice from lemons. For 1 part of juice, add 2 parts of water. Pour the mixture into ice cube trays. Freeze it and you will always have flavored ice on hand. If you freeze peach juice in silicone molds in the shape of a rose and then use it as ice for champagne, the drink will not only look more interesting, but also acquire the taste of a Bellini cocktail.